I am a 30-year-old male homeowner. I had been with my girlfriend, 25, for about 8 months when we decided to try living together. So we had been living together for 2 months when this happened. We both work full-time and she's also in grad school. She is extremely scatterbrained, absent-minded, and messy. For example, she was cooking soup on the stove. Then apparently she went into the other room to do homework, and at some point she fell asleep on the couch. So when I got home, I walked into the kitchen and most of the water had boiled off the soup and it had started smoking. I will describe both my reaction and her reaction as accurately as I possibly remember, whether it makes me look like an asshole or not, because I want to get an honest answer on whether I was an idiot. I was infuriated because we live in an area that has forest fires. I almost lost the house I grew up in because of a forest fire, and it could potentially cause devastation. So when I saw what was going on, I started yelling. I yelled at her until she woke up. I said, "What on earth do you think you are doing?" She said she didn't mean to fall asleep, and I said, "You almost burned my house down, and you think I didn't mean to is an okay excuse?" She said she was sorry, and I said that didn't cut it. I said from now on, if she wants to use my kitchen, she's not allowed to leave the room while there's a flame on the stove. She said she didn't like being talked to like a child, and I replied, "Act like a child, get treated like one." That was the last thing I said, and I saw an instant change come over her. She left the room and went to go clean up in the kitchen. After a few minutes, I felt sorry and went to help her clean up, and she said it was okay, she'd take care of it. So I went into the bedroom to get changed, and after a few minutes, I saw her car pulling out and her leaving. I was glad she left because I was still pretty angry, so it would give us some time when we didn't have to look at each other. Night came and I didn't hear from her. I texted and then called to see if she was okay. No reply. I then started calling some of her friends and family members, and then I got a call from her stating she was okay and asked me not to contact her family members. So I went to sleep, got up, went to work, came home. When I came home from work, all of her things were gone. I tried to call her and I was blocked on every form of communication. I haven't heard from her since then, and it was several weeks ago. I'm wondering if I was really such an idiot to justify that kind of brutal reaction. I think anyone who had their house almost burned down would be upset. Am I the idiot here? So here's what this made me think of. My husband and I recently spent $7,000 to get our house painted. One day, in a very uncharacteristic moment for me, because I'm generally careful and deliberate, I was so focused on something or other when backing out of the garage that I forgot to open the garage door. As a result, I slammed right into it and put a huge crack in our freshly painted garage door. I felt horrible and stupid. When I told my husband, I apologized repeatedly and expected him to have a fit. Instead, he realized how bad I felt and just shrugged it off. It didn't look fixable when he looked at the door, so we called in a garage door guy. The cost was higher than we expected, but husband still kept a cool head. At no point did he call me a child, say I could only drive the car in his presence, call up a traumatic childhood memory about driving, or say my driving ran the risk of breaking down the whole neighborhood. That is how you handle a stupid mistake, like a grown-up. Long story short, you are the idiot. There's a difference between backing into a garage door and potentially starting a kitchen fire. Leaving the stove unattended is literally the #1 cause of a house burning down. I see all kinds of posts on this sub, with people making stupid remarks and commenters saying anger was well justified. Potentially burning someone's house down isn't cause for anger though, apparently. Hope he is not the idiot. I mean, I understand why you're angry, but I also know why she left. For sure she knows she was wrong and made a mistake. Even in your story you indicate this, but at the same time, she learned that her boyfriend of less than a year can be explosively aggressive and berating. I knew you were the idiot at the beginning of your second paragraph. Quote, extremely scatterbrained, absent-minded, and messy. Sounds like it's filled with lots of love. Also, where's your fire alarm? You are the idiot. Some backstory. My niece Tessa, nearly adult, has a restraining order against my sister, her mom. She used to live with her dad, my ex-brother-in-law, full-time, and when she was younger, he'd drop her off at my house and leave her for months at a time. Even when he stopped leaving her with me, she'd ride her bike to my house and stay there for hours almost every day. Then last year I moved nearly 8 hours away, and I'd fly Tessa out to see me 1 or 2 weekends a month. 8 months ago, Tessa asked to move in with me because her mom kept violating the restraining order and her dad was refusing to do anything, and because her relationship with her brother was destroying her mental health. I talked to her dad, and he gave me guardianship, and there has been a huge change in Tessa since. She's so much happier and more outgoing. She went from C's and D's to all A's and a B+, and she made friends. So we had a deal that Tessa would fly out to visit him 1 weekend a month. After a week, Tessa's brother called her and asked when she's coming to clear out her room. Tessa asked what he was talking about, and he said he wanted to turn her room into a game room. Tessa called her dad and asked what was going on. He said that her brother has been asking to turn her room into a game room, but he hadn't given the brother an answer yet. So Tessa asked where her stuff would go and where she'd be sleeping if he said yes. And her dad said that he'd put her things in a garage and she could sleep in the guest room when she visits. Tessa said in no uncertain terms that if he gave away her room, she wasn't coming back. So her dad ended up giving her brother her room, and we drove out to get as much of her stuff as we could fit in my car, and she hasn't been back since. She calls him maybe once a month, but she's made it clear that she's given up on a relationship. Tessa's dad has a new girlfriend, and he wants her to meet Tessa, so he's been calling me to ask when Tessa's coming. I keep telling him that Tessa doesn't want to visit, and he says okay, hangs up, then calls back a week later. He called back yesterday, and when I said Tessa didn't want to see him, he said that we had a deal and it's not her choice. I told him I wasn't going to force her to visit him, especially after he let her brother turn her room into a game room, and that he didn't care about that deal for the past 8 months. He yelled at me for turning Tessa against him and told my parents that I'm not making Tessa see him. My parents think I'm an idiot because he's still Tessa's dad and has a right to see her. So I wanted to know if I was the idiot. Not the idiot. There was a guest room. Why couldn't that be the game room? Clearly being Tessa's dad didn't mean much to him until he had a new lady friend. And Tessa is doing way better since moving away from Daddy Dearest. Clearly you are not the idiot. You are doing what you should be doing and taking care of Tessa. And by the looks of things, you are the only one looking out for her. Daddy Dearest can go kick sand. I guess they still wanted to have guests over, and keeping a space for random guests was more important than maintaining a room for the child he has been a bad father to. Tessa is old enough to decide on her own. He didn't care about her for 8 months. Just because he has a new girlfriend doesn't mean he can demand her to visit him. He obviously wants to show the new girlfriend that he's an outstanding father. I mean, I'm petty, so take this with a grain of salt and a seriously salty attitude. If I was Tess, I'd go back for lunch with Dad and a new girlfriend and make sure to say, the greatest thing my dad ever did for me was dump me off on OP. She protected me when he wouldn't, half-raised me, and got me from a not-so-good student in a bad place to a solid student. His dumping me and giving my room to my younger brother to be a gaming room made it clear I wasn't part of the family, and that was the best possible thing that could happen. Now I'm basically an adult. I don't have to do one thing he says, and can be successful independently. Nice to meet you. Don't have any kids with him. Bye. OP, you are not the idiot. Apparently your parents don't seem to care about what your brother-in-law did to her either. They just want the appearance of a happy family and not caring about your niece at all. What a bunch of crappy excuses for parents and adults. You're doing right by your niece. My girlfriend, Sophia, and I are 22 and have been together 6 years. Sophia and Mom are cordial but don't like each other. My mom thinks my girlfriend is snobby and brainwashed by her white saviors. Girlfriend is mixed and adopted. My girlfriend thinks my mom is neglectful and ignorant and made that clear when we started dating. It never fully recovered. My girlfriend and I live together 2 hours away from my hometown. My family has shown up 3 times uninvited. First time my mom passed through the city and told me that morning, but I forgot. So girlfriend ended up with a 13-minute warning. It could have been fine, but my mom commented that our apartment was dirty and my girlfriend wasn't doing her job as a partner. Girlfriend did not take the high road and threw in her face that she was married for 20 years to an abusive alcoholic. Cooking, cleaning, and working full-time may have worked for her, but she would not follow suit, basically. Second time sis showed up under the impression we were expecting her. Mom basically thought it would be funny. Third time was this one. I was 2 hours away and girlfriend was home. Mom sent a 15-minute text warning. Girlfriend decided not to answer. My mom sat in her car for 8 hours until I could make it back. I was fuming. My mom was wrong for just showing up, but leaving her stranded for 8 hours is messed up. Girlfriend bluntly said that she saw the text, chose to ignore it, and then turned off her phone because we were irritating her by calling her. I told my mom she can stay the night, and girlfriend opposed, saying I should get her a hotel. I said girlfriend should be the one to leave, and she honestly did not hesitate. Now I have a $374 credit card charge from her stay in a luxury hotel. Girlfriend and I made up until I saw what she charged on my card. I said she needs to pay most of it since she chose to leave, and she said that's the cost of my mother's presence, and next time it will cost a lease buyout, so I should not complain. She was dead serious, so I paid it. I know what my mom did was wrong, but my girlfriend leaving her stranded for so long makes it worse to me. Am I the idiot for just thinking she should pay? You are the idiot. Your mother was not stranded. She was in her car, 2 hours from home. She could have just driven home when it became clear that she wasn't currently welcome. Instead, she essentially threw a fit and chose to sit in her car for that long. It was your mother's choice. And your mother used that choice to guilt and manipulate you into helping her violate your girlfriend's very reasonable boundaries. This, Mommy Dear made the power play to force herself into your life by invading your girlfriend's home. You allowed it over your girlfriend's wishes. Your mom manipulated you into believing she's the victim here. You let your mom kick your girlfriend out of her home. Your mom and your girlfriend don't like each other. The thing is, you chose your girlfriend, not your mom. If it bothers you that they don't like each other, you can choose a new girlfriend. You cannot choose a new mom. But let me assure you, your next girlfriend won't like your mom either. They never will. Start believing your girlfriend when she tells you your mom is toxic. You are the idiot. Your mom is entirely out of line. I don't know how you think a person calls your significant others family white saviors and is rude and accusing while in girlfriend's home. I would drop you in a heartbeat. Count yourself lucky she hasn't left you because I think she should. Why would you force your girlfriend to spend 8 hours with someone who is perpetually rude and disrespectful to her? Your mom had a car. She wasn't stranded or incapable. You just pulled the biggest mama's boy tirade at the expense of your relationship. If you haven't yet realized, your girlfriend is obviously fed up with your mother and you for not respecting her boundaries due to your mother's actions. Your mother is the problem here, not your girlfriend. So, my girlfriend 20 and me 23 male have been dating for just about 2 years. This weekend, she came out to our friend group that she's gay and met someone. And then her girlfriend came into the bowling rink later, and I guess they've been dating for a while. Am I terrible for getting angry with her? Like she springs this on my friend group and me? I was so embarrassed for myself. All my friends were like, haha, you turned her gay. Not to mention she straight up cheated on me. I have no issue with being gay. It's the absolute disregard for me and my feelings in our relationship that has me livid. Honestly, I'd be just as angry if it was a dude. Probably more so because there'd be no sympathy. I just don't think being gay gives her a free pass to treat me the way she did. Absolutely no regard for my feelings whatsoever. After everyone left, she did come up to me and asked how I felt about everything. I called her an idiot and that I'd prefer to never have anything to do with her again and to have a happy life. I left her crying. I know coming out to people you care about is hard, but am I really expected to be supportive after all that? Be the bigger person? Also, what now? I feel like I can't even show my face around my friend group after being humiliated like that. I also don't ever want to see her again, and I'm not the kind of person to be like, it's her or me. Wait, what? She was in a relationship with you, didn't break up with you, and just showed up with a girl one day without informing you? Yep, make it clear to your friend group that up until the second she announced this life change, you were in a relationship, and that being gay isn't a pass for cheating on you. Wait, what? That's how she broke up with you? What kind of cruel, messed up person is she? This is a huge betrayal and absolutely not normal behavior, and not a normal way to end a relationship. She cheated on you, didn't give you the respect to break up with you in a normal way, and humiliated you. I'm sorry. You really don't owe her anything anymore. She can't use coming out as an excuse for her being a complete idiot. Sorry, dude. That's some crappy behavior being sent your way. This has nothing to do with being gay. This is just about being an awful girlfriend. Go no contact with everyone and see which friends check on you. They're the keepers. I know I would be checking on you within hours of that event if I was your friend. She's crying because she's guilty. You did the best thing for yourself. She was trying to have her cake and eat it too. She kept staying with you to have a love interest while she pursued someone she really wanted. She's not a nice person. And yeah, don't deal with her again. Move on from it because she clearly didn't care. And you need to detach yourself from all her nonsense. I'm a dad of 3 boys. We live in a pretty conservative small town. Conservative enough that my wife and I and our middle son still get crap for him being gender non-conforming, even though he's straight. Our oldest is gay, and he came out to us when he was a teen, and only immediate family and his close friends, and of course boyfriend know, because he's a football player. We love all our kids and accept them how they are. Until yesterday, oldest son wasn't out to his grandparents, my parents, and the rest of our extended family. We usually have a family picnic every year this time, where you can bring a +1, especially the teens, who are introducing a new or a longtime SO to our family. My oldest has been dating his boyfriend privately for 2 years, and he felt it was time for him to come out to the rest of our family. Before the picnic, he first told his grandparents that he was bringing his boyfriend. They looked really upset but didn't say anything, and later told me in private that I shouldn't allow it. Well, I let him bring his boyfriend anyway, and as he introduced him, an argument started with his grandparents and some of his great aunts and uncles about me allowing him to be gay and bring a boyfriend, and how disrespectful and inappropriate it was, especially for the younger kids. I quickly told them they can leave if it was such an issue, and was told that I'm a bad father, which caused an even bigger argument that ended the picnic. My parents called later and said if I hadn't let my oldest bring his boyfriend in the first place, none of that would have happened. Am I the idiot? I mean, they're right. If your son hadn't brought his boyfriend, your family member's stupid phobia could have stayed hidden. Now everyone knows how close-minded they are, even to their own family. And your son knows you'll always have his back. Good job. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. The real issue isn't your letting your son be gay. LOL. That's like saying my parents let me be cis, female, and autistic. It has nothing to do with permission or allowing him to bring his boyfriend. If they weren't phobic in the first place, this never would have happened. Good job standing up for your son and his boyfriend. When wondering if you're an idiot in a situation like this, ask yourself, who needed the most protection or support in this scenario? Clearly, it was your son, who just wanted to be able to introduce his boyfriend to his family. You did well, OP. Bigots don't need your special care. Your son does, and I'm so glad to hear that you were there to give it to him. You are not the idiot, and thanks for being a good parent.